The Golf Channel and the PGA of America present Academy Live.
Now that we have created optimum contact with the ball, the next thing we want to try and do is control the distance the ball is going to travel. That is one thing that Johnny Miller was most noted for in his Hall of Fame career, was his ability to control the distance the ball traveled with his mid to short irons. The way he did that was through controlling the RPMs of the forward swing. It is our goal at the Johnny Miller Golf Academy to help you discover what length of swing and speed of swing is going to create your best ball flight. Now, the shot that John has here is a 100-yard shot, and what he's going to do is he's got an 8-iron in his hands. He's going to go to lower RPMs, lower power level. With the lower power level and lower loft on the club, it creates a lower trajectory. Therefore, the ball's coming in and it'll have a little bit more release, helping the ball roll all the way back to a back pin. The next shot, John's going to move into a 9-iron. With the 9-iron, it has a little bit more loft on it, so John's going to have to up the RPMs in that forward swing, creating some more power. With that higher power level, the ball's going to fly on a higher trajectory, therefore landing a little softer on the green. The last shot is going to be with the pitching wedge. And now we're really going to push the red line here. We're going to absolutely jump the power level up. The RPMs are going to go high off the chart. And now, with those higher RPMs and the greater loft on the club, we're going to create a higher trajectory, therefore having the ball land softer. This is a perfect shot for those front pin placements, so the ball can get in there nice and close to the hole to have shorter putts and lower scores.
Well said, Robin. Two things to be gained from this as far as my vantage point is concerned. Number one, you have to understand that the harder you swing, the higher the ball is going to go. A lot of amateurs don't quite get that picture. Number two, you have to be able to build a swing that's repetitive enough that the tempo of your swing is the only variable left to worry about. So I would imagine the latter is probably harder to do. Would you agree with that, Johnny?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's an interesting thing because a lot of people, all they do is they choke down on the club to hit it shorter, or maybe open up their stance a little to limit their turn. But really, you want to feel it. It's like if you had 3 wastebaskets there and you were throwing, let's say, pennies in each one. You know, one's that hard, one's a little harder, and one's a little harder. And it's very intuitive when you learn to do that. And if you get on a drive, Phil Mickelson's doing this, by the way, and Tiger Woods has said the secret to his game is distance control. So it's really about good, solid contact. You have to have good, consistent contact, and then you dial in the club head speed you want after you get the club you want. And so it's nice to go out on a driving range if you had it with lines like Phil Mickelson's doing now, and he'll take a wedge and that'll go 70 yards. This will go 75 yards. This will go 80 yards. This will go 85 yards, and this will go 90 yards. Now, if you can dial it in like that, fine. You go on 5-yard increments, and then you start dropping it down to 4, 3, 2, 1, and in the 70s. You know, I got it within basically 1-yard increments from my 6-iron to my wedge. If I was dialing at 103, it would go 104 or 102. It was guaranteed, as long as I made the good brush. And if I made the good contact, it was going to go within a yard of what I was trying to do. And that's pretty comforting when you got it online. That's why a lot of the guys on the tour would get mad at me, because I'd hit the shot, and it was halfway there, and I'd go, thank you very much. You know, they didn't like that too much. But I knew it was within 3, 4 feet. So that's a good thing. But that was part of that drill of dialing speeds in and not trying to, maybe grip down on it or different turns. It was just about dialing in the right speed.
But we're talking about an advanced level of golfer right here, aren't we, guys?
We are, but I think what you can do with this drill is it's really about finding where you play your best golf. For Greg Norman, that may have been at 95 or 100% that he played his best golf. He was able to swing at a fast tempo and very hard. What we're suggesting is that, hit some shots at 50% and see what kind of contact you're making at 50% and what kind of accuracy you get. You might find you hit this beautiful little floater that when you're hitting a shot into the wind works great. We'll take a couple more clubs and hit that little floater into the wind. You might find that 90% you do, like Rob said, you hit the ball higher, you hit the ball with more spin, but maybe the contact isn't as good. This is about trying these different things, exploring these different things, and seeing what works for you and how it works within the parameters of your own game.
Rob, how much of a challenge is it for you to get your students to slow it down to 50%? They probably feel like it's 2%.
Boy, down to about 90% would be nice. I mean, I would say the common fault of most average golfers out there is that they get up to the top and they just see that ball down there and they just want to just tear it out.
I always say there's 3 shots: hard, harder, and hardest.
That's right. I mean, we saw Tiger driving the 16th at Doral. You called that shot,
Yeah.
and he claimed he only swung at 90% on that swing. Do you believe that it was only at 90%?
No,
because he came out of his shoes.
That was a lie. That was 100. It might have been 99.9. He cannot swing any harder than that. If he can swing harder than that, he might have an S under his shirt there.
That's right. Well, he may very well have that anyway.